Hi everyone, today I propose you a video of comparison of different pens compatible with Note-taker that use the WACOM EMR technology, such as the remarkable One or Two, like this one, or the ONYX BOOX products of the Nova, Note, is here the Note here, or Max series. First of all, some technical elements to understand how this technology works. Technology is based on the emission and deformation of electromagnetic waves. Indeed, the tablet has, under the display layer of ink, a grid of metal wires that emits electromagnetic waves. The pen has a small copper coil which, when it enters the field of these electromagnetic waves, will generate an electric current and also generates waves in return. These waves will locally deform the electromagnetic field of the tablet. This local deformation will be analyzed and detected by the tablet between 200 and 400 times per second. It is this deformation that will allow the tablet to determine with a great precision the position and the tilt of the pen, depending on the shape of the deformation of these waves. The pen therefore does not need a battery, since the necessary power is generated by the electromagnetic field, send back to the tablet the information of the pressure exerted on the nib. And for some pens, like this one, it will also send back the information about whether the side button is pressed or not. And for stylus that have an eraser at the end, the mechanism for detecting the position of the eraser, the tilt, and the pressure exerted works in the same way as for the nib in a simplified version. There are several consequences to this mechanism. Firstly, the detection in the corners and in the edge is less precise than in the center, since the electromagnetic field is smaller and less uniform there. If you want to gain accuracy, you would have to widen the electromagnetic field with a larger grid and thus thicker edges all around the device. Second, the technology does not require that there be contact between the nib and the surface of the tablet, like here. In fact, the pen has to be close enough to the tablet to enter the electromagnetic field, and the contact is just used to see if there is a pressure exerted on the nib. But if I apply pressure in other way, for example with my finger, that works too. Here, I do not apply the nib on the surface of the tablet, and it works too. Thirdly, the physical finesses of the nib has no impact on the finesses of the line drawn on the screen, which depends on the brush chosen. Here, the pencil on the remarkable Two, and sometimes, and it's the case here, on the pressure exerted on the nib and the tilt of the stylus. This means that when we talk about a more or less fine nib of 0.7 or more or less, it's only a question of visual comfort. You will see a finer nib, but there is no technical impact on the precision of the line you are drawing. If your stylus is correctly calibrated, that means that if the alignment between your eye, the nib, and the surface of the screen is well done, the size of the nib doesn't really matter. And finally, it also means that you won't be able to use two pens at the same time. The tablet won't understand. For example, if I leave this pen here, take another pen. It works here, but doesn't work around the other pen. And to finish on this technical consideration, you have to know that this technology is totally different from the one that allows you to interact with your fingers, the touch screens that you can find on smartphones or other readers. It's another technology which is also present on these devices, since you can also use them with your fingers, but it's totally different and less accurate. Now that these technical considerations have been made, let's take a closer look at those different stylus. The LAMY All-star Black EMR. It's a quite thick stylus whose size can be variable, in fact, thanks to its removable cap. It can be the smallest stylus of all without the cap, with 12.6 centimeters. Or the largest one if you add the cap at the extremity, with a total length of 16.6 centimeters. It's the same thing for the weight of the stylus, so without the cap we are on 11.3 grams, which is an average weight, but a total of almost 21 grams with the cap, which is, for example, 3 times heavier than the Samsung S Pen. A very good quality, made in Germany. The body and the cap are in anodized metal. The clip is also metallic. The grip is also made in a hard, good quality transparent plastic. And the tip is also made with plastic. The design is also, for me, successful, since the stylus looks like a real standard high-quality pen. Even the black color, which may look a little sad, can be customized to fit the other LAMY pens of the All-star or Roller Pen series. So just buy one of the color you want and then replace the body and cap of the pen like this. In terms of functionality, so the cap has this metallic clip that can be attached on your pocket or on a loop that can be fixed on your tablet. And I come back to this metal cap, which in my opinion is a real robustness argument that doesn't exist at all among competitors, since it completely protects the pen. We know that pens frequently fall off, digital pens have an important cost, and knowing that my LAMY can be used without fear of breaking it even after a fall is a very important advantage. Also have a lateral button that works on ONYX products, but not natively on the remarkable One or Two. Confused with it because the button does not protrude from the grip and the body of the pen, so I don't feel it in my fingers. I often need to stop and look where the button is, or rotate the pen in my hand to try to feel with my fingers where the button is. The transparent grip is very pleasant, and the protuberance at the end allows the fingers to lock, which is very useful and practical with a stylus like the LAMY, which requires a fairly strong writing. On the other hand, the LAMY without its cap has a rounded shape, so be careful when you place it on a smooth surface, as it easily may slip and fall. It comes with black art polymer nibs that are quite slippery, but it is compatible with ONYX, Remarkable or felt nibs from HP or WACOM if you prefer writing that feels more like scratching on paper. In terms of pressure sensitivity, it's a stylus that requires a rather strong writing, which allows to obtain a rather good line finesses when using pressure-sensitive brushes. Now let's take a look at the next stylus, the HP ZBook X2 pen. It's a very large stylus, almost as big as the LAMY with its cap, since it measures 16.3 centimeters. Despite this, the weight is limited to 12.2 grams, which is very light, or at least rather light if you consider the big size of the pen. The build quality is good but not excellent. The pen is made of smooth, hard plastic, with a softer textured grip area. Stylus is rather thick. I find the design and ergonomics very successful with this protrusion near the end that allows a very good grip and good finger support. It comes with hard black nibs, but also the excellent white felt nibs whose frictions allow you to have the paper feel sensation. The nibs are compatible with remarkable ONYX or WACOM ones. It also has a side eraser button that is a bit prominent and that you can feel and activate without changing your grip, but for me it still tends to activate from time to time when I hold the pen a bit too hard. Another eraser at the end made of hard plastic with a small spring effect. Here too, the problem with this pen and its rounded shape is that it will easily slip and therefore risk to fall if you put it on a smooth surface. And in terms of pressure sensitivity, this is correct. No need to hold the stylus or press too much to make line thickness variations, as you can see here. Another big interest of this stylus is the bundle when you buy it, because in addition to the 10 nibs provided, it comes with this very correct sleeve, which inside rests a place for 3 spare nibs, and a loop that you can attach or glue to your tablet or case cover. Next stylus now, the remarkable Marker Plus. It's a heavy stylus with 19 grams and a rather long one since it measures 16.1 centimeters. Rather thick. An excellent manufacturing quality in soft textured plastic, very pleasant. A very round design with a flat part on the wall lens. At the end, a metal insert with the brand name. Excellent and compatible nibs, but beware of the small plastic part, which apparently breaks easily when the pen drops. As well as the eraser at the end with a little spring effect, which is very pleasant, but probably also a little fragile. Another advantage of the Marker Plus is that it is magnetic with quite powerful magnets. It can work on the Note Air as here by fixing it on the side, but of course it is much more convincing and powerful and really well done on the Remarkable 2. In terms of pressure sensitivity, it is a heavy pen that presses almost alone on the nib. It is quite difficult to hold the pen to make light strokes, but it will be perfectly suitable for those who prefer naturally thicker strokes, when of course you use brushes for writing or drawing that are pressure sensitive, like some are on the ONYX or the Remarkable. And not too much risk that the pen will roll and fall on your table, since it has a flat part along its whole length, and its weight will also make it stop by itself quite quickly. And now the Books Pen. The Books Pen is a stylus that normally comes with the ONYX BOOX Note-taker. A medium thickness and medium size stylus, 15.4 cm for 13.5 grams. A very round shape like the Marker Plus, it will not roll too easily, so a fairly limited risk of accidental fall, because it is a little lighter and also has a flat part all over the lens. You see it here. A good build quality, a simple but elegant design with this flat part and these lines cut through the lens of the stylus. The plastic used is a bit too hard and too rigid for me to be really pleasant. And then you hear it. A clicking sound that is not really pleasant and draws down the impression on the build quality. No eraser on the stylus, but the stylus is magnetic. But the magnetic force is too light for me, the stylus does not attach strongly enough. Beware of the risk of falling. The nibs provided are very fine and specific. Strangely, a large amplitude under pressure, which is what I think makes it incompatible with the Remarkable, and which, even on the yet dedicated Note Air, does not allow it to be very sensitive. We see here that it's really difficult for me to draw a thin line. Other stylus, the WACOM One. A stylus that I really like, all in curves. I will directly show you what I like. We have already seen it a little with the LAMY or the HP. It is the protuberance at the end, the shell shape, which makes it for me the stylus with the best finger support. Here with the excellent felt nibs from WACOM, but it is also compatible with other nibs. It is a two-color, white and black, a simple but successful design in a soft plastic on the grip part. A very well-balanced stylus, 10.8 grams for 14.9 centimeters long. Another thing I like very much is the eraser button on the side, protruding enough to feel it and not to have to look for it in my hand. Positioned at the right distance from the stylus for me, relative to the shape of my hand. A nice and quite quiet click. The stylus is globally silent, but its round shape often makes it roll when it is put on a table. You have to be very careful not to let it fall down. Regarding pressure sensitivity, the pen is very good and well calibrated. No need to lift it up and hold it too much to make fine lines, or to press too hard to draw thicker lines. We keep complete control whatever the force exerted on the nib. The next stylus is the Samsung S Pen Galaxy Tab S6 Lite. The thinnest and lightest of my stylus, 7.1 grams, a length of 14.6 centimeters. The supplied nibs are very fine and the pen is compatible with Remarkable ONYX or HP nibs. The build quality is really good, it's a hearted textured plastic, the design is simple and elegant, a round stylus, with a flat over the entire lens. The handling is very pleasant. Here I have the grey version, but for those who prefer a little color, there is also pink or blue. It's a stylus that does not make noise at all. It also has a side button to erase, but I have the same problem with the LAMY or the HP. The button does not appear on the body of the pen, and I have a little trouble finding it naturally when I have it in my hand. This stylus having a flat part and being very light, it will not necessarily roll up and will probably stay where you put it. Finally, a big interest of this stylus, it is magnetic. It is, for example, perfect here on the Note Air. It even holds better than the original stylus. And finally, regarding the pressure sensitivity, it's very well balanced. I managed to make fairly thin lines quite easily, and I do not need to press so hard to enlarge the line too. The next one I'm going to present you is the ONYX BOOX Round shaped pen. It's a stylus that has not convinced, difficult now to find. 7.3 grams, 13.7 centimeters. It comes with good ONYX nibs. It is compatible with remarkable or HP nibs too. Functionalities are very complete since it has a side button to erase and a second eraser at its end, as well as a plastic clip which seems very fragile. A little bit noisy. Rather low-end build quality and design. For example, in terms of design, the side button is much too high to be able to be pressed ergonomically. I have to press with the base of my thumb or lift my finger. The stylus is made of hard black plastic without any particular texture that would make it easier to grip. But on the other hand, in terms of pressure sensitivity, it is rather very good, with the possibility of effortlessly making either thin lines or thicker lines by pressing lightly. As you see, it is very efficient, and obviously with the shape, no risk of the stylus rolling. And finally, now the latest stylus of this video, the STAEDTLER Noris Digital Jumbo. A very nice black and yellow stylus in the shape of a pencil. Very fine nibs, but the stylus is not out of the box compatible with other nibs. You have to hack either the nibs or the pen. See my video about how to do that. At the end, a very pretty and very effective red eraser. A pleasant plastic texture and a triangular shape, very characteristic, and for me very pleasant for handling. A grip for me very effective. We do not ask the question of the positioning of the finger on the side button since there is none. The eraser being at the end, with that little spring effect. The stylus is made in Germany, a very high build quality and a very good design in my opinion, since it is a perfect imitation of a pencil. The stylus is rather light, since its weight only 10 grams, it measures 14 centimeters long, which gives it proportion, in my opinion, quite balanced, comfortable and elegant. Annoying little thing anyway. Those clicking sounds, the stylus is a bit noisy. And for the pressure sensitivity, well, the stylus slides on the screen, but it is quite difficult to hold it to maintain a low pressure and therefore to make a fine line. Other styluses do much better. And of course, its triangular shape does not necessarily prevent it from rolling on your table or on a plane that would be slightly inclined. This is the end of this review. There are obviously a few other stylus that I don't have that I will talk about quickly. The triangle shaped stylus from ONYX, triangular shaped, kind of a jumbo made by ONYX, but more silent, compatible nibs, apparently a good stylus. The classic STAEDTLER, it's like a jumbo but an hexagonal shape, thinner, longer and without an eraser. And almost a copy of this STAEDTLER, but very hard to find, the Mitsubishi Hi-uni Digital. It is the lightest of all stylus, since it is only 5 grams. And finally, in a category a little apart from the Supernote styluses with their indestructible ceramic nibs, the standard pen and the Art of Metal, which comes in many colors, which also use the same WACOM EMR technology, but which are rather dedicated to Supernote devices, since they could damage the surface of other products due to their hard ceramic nibs. Now this is the end of this video. Thank you for watching. If you liked, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and see you soon for the next one.